Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Garden Girls podcast. I'm Dagny.
And I'm Meg.
And our friendship started in a group chat where we talked all things gardening. And now we get to bring you into the group chat. And we also get to bring in some wonderful guests. And today we have Erin of Hey Garden Zadie. Oh my God.
Very European of you.
Thank you. I know. Hey Garden Zadie with us today. And we're just going to talk about herbalism and our favorite medicinal plants. Erin, do you want to get us started? What's one of your favorites?
Well, I just posted a video about it today, so I'll start off strong with mullein because it also stirs the pot. It's like a, high risk, high gain kind of thing to grow, but like I've struggled with like respiratory stuff my whole life. Even like on flights, I'd have pressure in my ears for like a day lingering afterwards. So it's like it's been a thing for me. The world of herbalism, I feel like is funny because there's like so many like affinities and vibes along with all of it. But I just felt like mullein was going to be like a good thing for me, and like the tinctures, I mean, it is just a game changer for me anytime I'm congested, starting to get sick. And then even people who have been like interested in my potion sides, when they try it when they've been sick or congested, I have a lot of singer friends, and it is wonderful. And I'm of the opinion that it can be grown in a controlled manner, but that certainly stirs the pot, as I'm sure you both have experienced to some degree.
No, I liked that video that you did, but it's funny that you mentioned this because I did want to kind of address like this overlap between the like vibe and science elements of herbalism.
Yeah.
And mullein is one for me that totally crosses this line. And I have a really weird story about this. Like it was like peak 2020 COVID pandemic nightmare. And I had a dream about mullein and I didn't even know what it was. Like I had seen it in my yard and I had never identified it before. And then it just kept like appearing in my dream to the point where I was like, I need to go look at this freaking plant in real life when I woke up. And I looked it up, I identified it, and I realized that it happened to be so good for respiratory things. And thankfully, I didn't end up needing to use it for that at that time of my life. But it was just such a weird thing of like, is somebody, Mother Earth, somebody telling me about this plant right now? Like, why is this happening? Because for me, like herbalism is very science-based. I know Meg and I have kind of talked about this a lot. And like the overlap can be tricky and the gray area is not always a fun place to be, especially on the internet. But there are certain elements of herbalism that do come across that way for me, and they feel more intuitive than anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've been practicing some form of herbalism for like over a decade now, but I am also a woman of science, and it feels like there's some pockets of the internet where those things can't coexist. And so
Right.
that's why I've been so hesitant to post about it on the internet, because I'm just not ready for that kind of controversy, if you will, or whatever. Like there's enough with my sunflowers. I'm like, I'm over it for the year.
Yeah. It's like that funny, like kind of meme thing of like everyone in our garden space is like a little bit crunchy, but there's some who are like, yeah, I drink lemon water in the morning. I haven't been to the doctor in 15 years. I'm like, no.
Right.
If you break your arm, don't rub peppermint oil on it. Go to the doctor, please.
I'm at the doctor like once a week at least.
I know, us chronic illness girlies. And I do feel like there's an overlap there with how sensitive we are to kind of these conversations online, because I was also saying to Meg that like I bring up my chronic illness online and I get a lot of well-meaning people telling me like, oh, you just need to like drink ginger tea and you'll be better. And it's like, no, I actually need a biologic injectable medication once a week. Like that's
Right.
that's the reality of the situation. I like to do those things. They make me feel like I'm helping myself a little bit, but they're not the end all be all cure.
Right. Like if there is one day an herb that they can say for sure prevents my immune system from attacking my brain, I'll take that instead. But until then, I'm going to have to rely on the meds.
Right. Yeah.
When you use mullein, is it tincture form? Do you use tea? Do you use all of the above?
I've tried the teas, but I also have such an ungodly amount of the tincture now. Like even like one, 32-ounce mason jar, like that makes so many dropper bottles that like I just don't need to use the tea because I have so much of the tincture. And I mean, it's pretty potent. So the tea is as earthy as all get out for sure. But I just love the tincture. It's so easy. Just, and I feel like, what's the term? It's like, it's so like bioavailable. It just works quicker than the tea.
I think tinctures are probably my favorite way to take any kind of herbal medicine, for sure. It's just, it's quick. You don't have to sit there and sip on a tea that you really don't enjoy because it doesn't taste great. Like you can just drop her in, just get it over with.
There's something
And
about the tea though that I like. I like that it's medicinal. I don't know why. Even if it tastes bad, it just feels like I'm doing something. Like I'm working hard for this.
I feel like you're just
while
like a
you're
masochist on the inside. You're like,
Maybe.
it tastes earthy. It's like, no, it just tastes
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dirt. Yeah, it's dirt.
like while you're cringing the whole time.
Yeah.
This is so good.
Yeah.
Like,
So good for
this
me.
is so good. So good for me.
You list off the compounds. I taste the beta-alanine.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite medicinal herb to grow in my garden, I'll see if you guys can guess it with this little anecdote. It's like drinking a Xanax.
Hard
See,
lunch.
like a
I
benzo.
feel like you're gonna be taking mine now. It has to be chamomile.
It is chamomile.
Of course
Really?
it is. Us anxious girlies, we're like the chamomile. That's fine.
I know,
I have
right?
another one.
Ah.
Chamomile. So the reason I say it's like a benzo is because chamomile contains apigenin, which binds to benzodiazepine receptors in the brain, and that's how it promotes sleep and relaxation. So that's why it's such a calming herb.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so popular to drink before bed.
Chamomile is also anti-inflammatory, which is another
Right.
benefit for us for sure. And yeah,
Yes.
there's one tea that doesn't taste terrible, right? That's probably one of the better tasting
Right.
herbs to have as a
Yes.
tea, if not the best.
I love the taste of chamomile.
It's so good. It's so
And the
good.
smell of the flowers, they smell like apples.
I know.
Like, they're
I get
unreal.
bubble gum, yeah.
so-
Even the
Bubble
leaves.
gum?
Yeah.
Oh, the leaves. Oh, I love just like and just getting that whiff. Although, do y'all have Roman chamomile or German chamomile?
I grow German.
Yeah, I think it's
Actually,
German.
I'm growing Hungarian chamomile this year.
Okay. All right.
Fancy. I got it from, I know, so it's Kids Seed Company, and they're a local company here in North Carolina. And their family is Hungarian, and so I think they go to Hungary a lot, and they source seeds from there, and then they bring them back here.
Wow.
So they have like a lot of Hungarian peppers and stuff, and so I saw chamomile on their website, and I decided to try that this year. I don't really notice too much of a difference, to be honest. I don't really know what makes it Hungarian, but it's growing really well for me.
It makes a great ground cover. I think I'm gonna start using it more as a ground cover in different parts of my garden, like living mulch. It's just like mossy. Like I love the texture of it. I always overseed it and I never thin it out.
And it reseeds itself so easily. I always have volunteers pop up. Like, I probably won't have to replant it next year.
I think I was when I got chamomile. I mean, I grew up drinking it, and then have come back around because I grew up with a very crunchy mom. And I got Roman chamomile, and it takes so long to establish, but once it's there, boy, is it there, because that's a perennial, at least here. I mean, everything's kind of a perennial here, but
You just had to throw that in there.
Keep rubbing it in, Aaron.
yeah. But no, I need to try good German because I think Roman has slightly less of that compound that you mentioned, and is a little more bitter. I mean, it's still fine. I did an experiment, or like made it into a video a few weeks ago, where I did like the fresh flowers versus the dried flowers in the hopes they would have that like bubblegummy flavor. It didn't really, but it was still good.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's my favorite to harvest too. It's just like a little plop, plop.
I know.
Thank you for the sound effects. Yes, that's exactly how it is. And it's so fun. It's just such a lovely plant out in the garden. It also attracts pollinators. It's a really good companion plant to bring in the beneficial insects. It's got those tiny little flowers that some of the smaller insects like.
Yeah.
I would say for a beginner wanting an herb garden, chamomile for sure on the list.
Yeah. Well, you stole my sedative one. I'm gonna pick a different.
I'm sorry.
Sedative one.
Yeah,
No, it's
pick another
fine.
one. We probably
No.
have the same list. I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
It's gotta be lavender. It has to be lavender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Expand.
mean that I use more aromatically. I don't really tend to use lavender in teas as much, just because I find it really overpowering. But I dry a lot of it, and then I do it in drinks, not in teas. I'll make it into like a simple syrup and put that in like lemonades or in lattes, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I use it in the unhealthiest of ways, like just mixing it with sugar and putting it in
Yeah.
baked goods.
Yeah.
And putting it in coffee.
But I've also done I would really love to be able to do my own essential oil extraction. Although I know that is like a huge undertaking and you need like a wild amount to get the tiniest
Right.
bit. So I probably will never do it because I'm way too lazy. But I like to use the oil in general, even if it's not from lavender that I grew. I'll use it as like a room spray, and it helps me go to sleep So yeah, it's also like one of the few things that can like pull me out of a panic attack, honestly.
Hmm.
Like there's something about that smell in particular that really does the trick. Just a tiny little bit on my wrist. I'm not like a huge essential oil person in general. I feel like essential oils have to come up when you're talking about herbalism. I probably have
Right.
like three. I have like lavender, rosemary, and orange. And I just use them in like mostly sprays for the room, not like medicinally necessarily.
Essential oils are definitely not like, it's not my favorite. I mean, I know that they have their place, of course. I'm not knocking essential oils, but they kind of left a bad taste in my mouth because of like the MLM marketing of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
and like
Right.
all of these very, very false, elaborate claims that, these companies make about how they
Hmm.
can just fix everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
That's
just
why I
bad
tend to
taste in my
just,
mouth. Yeah.
yeah. That's why I tend to just default to like, okay, I'll use the dried lavender. I'll like hang it in the shower
Yeah.
Hmm.
and like let the steam kind of release it. And
Ah,
yeah, it's
Or
not
hadn't
as
these
thought of
little
doing that.
sachets.
yeah, the
I
little
love to make a little sachet
sachets.
and just
Oh my
stick it under
gosh.
the pillow. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
I primarily grow Munstead lavender. It just seems to do really well here. And I
Munstead.
do think people tell me all the time like they have trouble growing lavender, and for me, I think it thrives on neglect, and you also have to find a variety that does really well in your specific zone. And I only know what works well in my own zone, to be honest, because I
Mhm.
know Meg, you've been having problems with growing lavender, right?
Yeah. It's weird because like I can grow all the other Mediterranean kind of herbs well, like rosemary and oregano, but lavender I'm just having trouble with. I don't know what it is. I've got to figure it out. Maybe I'm babying it too much.
Mm.
You
I've
probably
only
are.
tried growing it in containers though. I haven't ever put it in the ground, so maybe I need to put it in the ground.
I've done
And
both and it's been fine. So I don't
Mm.
know. I feel like it's a light issue for you. I
it
feel
also
like,
could be a variety issue for me. Like
yeah.
there are so many varieties at my garden center, and I never know which variety to go with. I think I've gone with like English lavender, and then there's another one that's like a little compact
Well,
Is
isn't
that
type
it
French?
like
growing
I thought
one.
that there was English and French, and then each one
Hmm.
of those had like many varieties under it.
Probably. I don't know. I've just and my my garden center probably just put it as English.
Well,
And so
yeah,
Mm.
and
probably I
that's the
don't know what
problem.
variety it
Every
is.
time I
Yeah.
see it at a garden center, there's like 30 different types and they don't
Right.
indicate on them anywhere. For some reason, this is always a thing with herbs. You don't see like the zones listed on them
Mm.
or
Yeah.
anything like that. So, yeah, you have to do your own research and that's kind of a pain, but
Right.
propagates
And this
really
is the
easily.
same garden center that only marks strawberries as everbearing or June bearing too. Like they don't tell the variety. So
Oh
it's probably
no.
my garden center's fault. I'm just gonna blame it
Mm.
on my garden center. There's
Name
nothing wrong with
names. No.
me.
Boycott.
I'm doing nothing wrong. It's my garden center.
That's funny.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are like, I'm going to start this from seed too, and I would never attempt
Oh
that.
no, 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 no,
It's
not lavender.
not worth it. No, just buy one plant and then you can propagate it like very easily, way more easily than starting it from seed. That's what I've always done.
I did
Yeah.
cheat once. The only, I think my healthiest lavender plant I started indoors in my like hydroponic garden that like is on for 6 months and off for the other. Then I planted it, it disappeared for like 6 months, and then from the mulch it arose, and now it's like the healthiest. But it's like I swear it's like it took like a year and a half for it to flower, almost in a
Yeah,
sense. So I'm like
yeah.
kind of in the Meg camp here as lavender's just like I've bought like beautiful plants, planted them in like fairly arid soil that get like good sun, and it's just like so
Interesting.
I have some, but I would love, 10x what I have as far as
Right.
lavender goes. Also,
Yeah.
it just smells nice. If I bump it, it's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I
Put this
water
one in
it.
the intermediate category.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
what?
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Intermediate to grow, but a great beginner one to use medicinally, I
Right.
would say. It's very safe. Yeah.
You have another favorite, Aaron?
I mean, you kind of already said rosemary, but I've made like rosemary hair oil a few times, and that's been a huge
Mm.
hit in my extended family. I
Oh
combine that
yeah.
with like sweet almond oil, and that's been a good one. It's
Yeah.
medicinal-ish, I guess. I mean, your hair is part of your body,
Totally.
so I guess
Oh,
that
I mean, I
counts.
think rosemary in general is definitely medicinal. Like it's got a lot of great antibacterial properties, right, Meg? You know more about this one than I do.
Yeah, it's called what is it? It's called rosemarian or something. It's
Mm.
it's like rosemary something
Amazing.
something Latin at the end, and it's that's the compound that's in it. But and
Rosemary.
it has like this is one that has been studied kind of extensively for hair growth, and there's some scientific evidence behind it. And I have like thinning hair from my MS medication, so I'm about to start using mine again. I haven't made it in a while. I used to make it and I used to use it like every day, but then I ran out and I just haven't made more. But yeah,
That's another
that's a really good
smell
one. I
that
use
I'm
argan
obsessed with.
oil though instead
Oh
of
yeah.
sweet almond in mine because
Oh, nice.
argan oil is also known to be great for hair as well.
What
I have
is
to
argan oil? Like, I don't understand. Is there an argan plant?
It's a rare and expensive vegetable oil, comes from the kernels of the argan tree, which is native to Morocco and Algeria. And
Okay.
I feel connected to my ancestors. I have some ancestry in Morocco when I use it. And so I love argan oil. It's also like one of those really thin, like it's non-comedogenic, which means it doesn't clog your pores or anything. And
Writing that
so
word
it's
down.
like it's one of those that are really like light and easily absorbed into the skin. I love argan oil. And jojoba oil is another favorite of mine. Amazing to mix with herbals. And it's also non-comedogenic. Because I have oily skin, I get clogged real easy. So I stay away from coconut oil. 'Cause
Yeah.
coconut oil
Yeah.
is comedogenic. It'll clog you up.
I know. That's my thing with like half the like oil based herbal stuff is I'm like, I sweat so much. I have
Yeah.
oily skin. I'm like, "Ugh, oh, it'll help this. I'm like, I will look like I need to be thrown on the grill after that, you know? Um,
Yeah.
so I'm going to use that word now.
I'm growing a kind of difficult one this year that I have used for a very, very long time. And I decided this year's going to be the year to grow it, to try it. And I grew it from seed. And so I'm very excited to harvest this year, but it's kind of complicated. So I'm growing valerian
Ooh.
and I'm going to
Ooh.
try to harvest the root. If you don't know, valerian root is supposed to be another one of those sedative herbs. It can really, really, really help you with sleep. And like I said, I've been doing some form of herbalism like the majority of my life. I became interested in it when I was 16. I was in high school.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
you've got
got the
seeds
seeds.
for it.
Yeah.
Perfect. There you
Notice the
go.
unopened packet, but yes.
Well, I'll let you know. I'll have some tips for
Yeah,
you.
give me your
like,
tips. I
in
need
a
'em.
in a while. But yeah. So I was in high school and I got like super interested in herbal medicine just randomly because I used to go. I was such a nerd. Like I used to just go to the library and I would just like
Was?
check out.
I was going to say it,
I
but I'm
am.
not
I am a nerd. I used to go to the library and I would just check out books that I didn't know anything about and I would read them. And I picked up a book on herbalism and I became like so sucked into it.
Huh.
I ended up doing my senior project on herbal medicine. My dad at the time was taking Ambien to sleep. And I was like, Dad, this can cause dementia. Like, this is not good for you. I don't want you to be taking this. And I was like, would you be interested if I make you an herbal tincture? And at the time, he like didn't know that I was interested in any of that. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you, where is this coming from? And so I got valerian root from Mountain Rose Herbs, which is like a huge
Love
like,
them.
herbal website.
Name
Yeah, I
of the
love
game.
them. They're a really great place, by the way, to order dried herbs from if you don't have a garden and you want to do herbalism. But so I ordered valerian root and I made him a valerian tincture. And he liked it so much that he was able to get off of the Ambien.
Wow.
And he still to this day takes valerian root to
Wow.
sleep and doesn't need Ambien.
Wow.
And so I was like, ooh, that's great. And I've used it myself a few times and I do feel an effect from it. I'm not going to say it's like, I think it works better for my dad than it does for me, but you know, whatever works. But yeah, I'm growing it in my garden this year. It's actually a beautiful flower. It's one of those flowers that has like the umbrella shape. The pollinators love it. And then this fall, I'm going to try to harvest the root, dry it up, make my own tincture from it. And so I'm really excited about that.
That's cool. It's a pretty big plant, isn't it? Or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, I'm growing it in a container, so
Okay.
it could be kind of smushed to what it could potentially grow to.
Yeah.
Because I figured if I'm harvesting the root, growing it in a grow bag will be so much easier to harvest the root than in
Right.
the ground. So, yeah, it's not huge. It's not huge.
Oh, really?
And I know that me harvesting the root this year, like it's supposed to be a perennial, but it's not going to come back if I have to rip the whole plant out. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of experimenting. I know that I'm not going to harvest like a ton of it, but I'm just experimenting with it.
Yeah, I wonder what
Yeah.
like the yield will be. Like, does it throw out a
Right.
ton of rhizomes? Like, how much can you really
See,
expect? No clue.
I don't know. It's my
Yeah.
first time growing
Well,
it. I'm
please
just
film it.
experimenting with it.
Did you have to cold stratify those seeds or just kind of chuck them in and they went?
Nope. I didn't have to cold stratify it. Mm-mm. Yep.
Huh.
I just
Okay.
started it in seed trays. This was like in early February, so it was kind of colder out, and I was doing it in the greenhouse, so it was like cooler.
Okay. Yeah, I've had that on my list for a long time, and every time I look for like, I mean, because I love to try and search for, search for the end goal and see what you can grow, and that's been
Hmm.
on my list for a long time. And I mean, it sits in my little seed tray, of which I'm currently reorganizing.
Show
Seed
us the
binder thing.
seeds. What else do you
I
have?
know, he's got a whole stockpile here.
I will out nerd you on my seed organization because I have it in the sheets. I have it searchable via cloud. I do that. So say we have the valerian. I have common milkweed in here. This one's always funny, the common mugwort, because people who, it just doesn't grow here. So people who have it are like, why would you grow that?
Freaking
Because it doesn't.
hate
I
mugwort.
can't have
Get
mugwort.
it out of here.
Really?
I
Okay,
can't
you're one of
have
those.
mugwort tea or anything like that because I'm already such a vivid dreamer. So I stay away from
I've
mugwort.
had vivid dreams just from handling it, like pulling
Oh,
it
really?
out when I was weeding it. Yeah. It's
Huh.
really intense. No, the reason I hate it is because it just grows rampant everywhere and I'm never able to get it under control. But I mean, it smells really good. It's a
Huh.
good smell, but I don't need that kind of dream action in my life.
I don't either. I already
Just
have it
barely handling.
naturally.
At one point, I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll like smoke this and like see like what happens." And I was like, "No, you know what? Actually, just touching it was enough. That is good. Thank you."
That's funny.
Another one that I always grow is calendula because so
Mhm.
easy, so safe, and I mean, it self seeds too. So I pretty much just plant it once and never have to worry about it again. But yeah, it's definitely a favorite for me for skincare, of course. But I put it in tea too. I don't think the flavor is like great, but it's definitely not offensive. It's not terrible.
So,
It's
given that you're
fine.
already a masochist with teas, everyone else can take from that
Mm,
information that's probably
yeah,
disgusting. You're just
maybe my opinion isn't the best, but no,
like, oh,
it's more just like tart, kind
uh,
of.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It's almost like a little sour.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. And I'm like
Okay.
pretty,
Okay.
yeah. I don't think
Back
it's
me
bad.
up.
If you mix it
You're
with other
confirming.
stuff too, like I like to mix it with like lemon balm or lemongrass, like
I
something
love lemon
lemony.
balm.
Yeah.
That's like one hack, I guess, is if you have an herb that really doesn't taste that good, just lemon balm, lemon verbena, lemongrass, like any kind of lemony something that you can add in there can kind of help.
Hmm.
Yeah, like understanding the formula with tea blends is its whole own like art form, I feel like, because you do
Oh
need
yeah.
to have kind of like herbs that mask the flavor and herbs that are complementary and what is the ratio there. And that's something I've been trying to learn more about, but it's like intimidating because it's like, okay, I have to make like 30 cups of tea to figure this out. I don't know. I'm too lazy to do
It's
that.
an art.
I
Yeah.
will say that's what where is it? I have it. I'm trying to find the PDF, but like that dude, the evolutionary herbalism guy, it's
Yeah.
like he's Mr. Potion. So it's like I have all these PDFs of like with lemon balm, he's like combining with this to do this and that and that. I'm like, oh, sick. Let me find one for lemon balm. That
Ready
was
made. Yeah. I just grabbed the Herbal Academy botanical teas recipe book and it has a lot of really good like pre-made combos in it so you don't have to do the thinking, which is great. And they
Yeah,
actually
that's nice.
mark at the bottom of each recipe whether it's pregnancy or kid safe too, which
oh, that's
only like
good.
5 of them are pregnancy safe. This has been an ongoing problem for me this year because nothing has any research done into it for ethical reasons. So I just kind of like use at your own risk. I don't even like technically you're not even supposed to have chamomile, but that's
Really?
just
Really?
just because it's anti-inflammatory and they haven't done any studies on it. But there's many
Huh.
people who have ingested chamomile tea and been fine, and I being one of them. But yeah, it's still just like they can't make a general broad recommendation on it. And I've had people message me recently being like, "Can you make a list of ones that are safe for you in your tea garden right now?" And I'm like,
Uh,
I don't even want to really tell you what I'm doing for myself because I don't want you to see
right.
that as like a recommendation, you know?
It's this giant disclaimer all over your
Yeah,
entire video. Yeah.
right. Like I feel like my
Don't do
lawyers
this.
wouldn't like this.
I did find I found the thing, and some of this is a little funny because it's like clearly this dude has spent his entire life doing this, but it's like, oh yeah, digestive nervine formula. It's like 20% lemon balm, 20% catnip, 20% chamomile, 10% wood betony, 10% hops, 10% valerian, and 10% licorice. And I'm like, I believe with every fiber of my being that that is like a digestive nervine. I guarantee that works, but I don't want to get 17 different
That's like
herbs.
too many.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
three,
too many
please.
combinations. Yeah, you'd probably be good with just the top three.
Right. It's nuts. Oh yeah. Children's fever infusion, lemon balm, peppermint, elderflower. It's like, all right, that's a little more doable, you know.
Yeah, I feel like if you stick with the ones that are like safe for kids, you're gonna get like the more simple options by default, which is a good little hack too.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I feel like simpler is better
Absolutely.
for a lot of things.
Especially
For a
I
lot
feel
of
like
things in the
these are
garden.
not things that we necessarily always are ingesting in our regular cooking anyway. So if you're going to be introducing new things, like you should definitely like pare it down as much as possible so you can figure out which ones you're having a negative reaction to.
Because you
that-
can be allergic. And
Right.
Yeah, like
you
even if something
can-
is safe, you can still have an issue with it just personally. This is what the little I will say about the pregnancy and herbalism thing is a lot of it is like obviously they're saying with an abundance of caution, just don't do it. But it's primarily because yes, it has these compounds, but in the quantity and strength that you're going to get from a cup of chamomile tea, it's negligible. It's not like you're dosing yourself with a pill that is just straight
Right.
anti-inflammatories. It's got those things in it, but they're in very small quantities. So unless you're drinking gallons of this a day, the risk is very low for me, in my opinion. That's what I
Right.
decided about certain things.
That's a good thing to throw in is that it's like, and I mean, with Google and various search, things these days, it's like if you're on, SSRIs or whatever, it's like you can look like what herbs are really bad combination where they have
Oh, right.
co-interactions. That is very
Yeah.
key.
Like, I know passion flower is one that can interact with SSRIs. Can increase your serotonin. Like, they act as anti-anxiety medication themselves. Like, there's some studies that
Interesting.
say that they act just as well as SSRIs. So anyone that's on an SSRI has to be really careful with that. There's another one.
Well, there's also other things like grapefruit.
I think ashwagandha is one of them.
That would
as
make
well.
Ashwagandha is, yeah. I think
Yeah.
Yes, and you can get serotonin syndrome if you are on an SSRI and then you are also ingesting other things that increase your serotonin. You can get serotonin syndrome, which is really bad. You don't want that to happen. So yeah, you have to be careful with those things.
Yeah, I definitely think that ashwagandha is like that, like the kind of the adaptogenic thing about it's like, oh, it kind of fixes everything. It can lead people to go too far down and just like, oh, we just and it's like it has cause for caution in some things. I think it's great, but it's not the kind of what's the term panacea that everyone reaches for or thinks it is.
It's in a lot of stuff now too, like a lot of health stuff.
Right.
Any herbal thing, any medication that you're on, there's food that can interact with it. There's herbs that can interact with it. There's anything that can interact with it. So you have to make sure what you're taking.
Agreed.
I'm just going to throw out some other useful herbs that's
Yes.
just kind of like rapid fire style. Thyme. Thyme's great.
Love
It
thyme.
can be used for like cough suppressants, also antibacterial. It has thymol in it, which has been shown to have antimicrobial and antifungal properties.
Isn't that also used in like beekeeping?
Yes,
think-
it is.
Yeah.
For varroa mite, it's
Yep.
like one of the more natural treatments for varroa mite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I used thymol. Did I use that? I cannot remember what the name of it's called, but I used one of those last year.
Yeah.
It didn't work. My bees died.
Yeah, those varroa mites.
Or they left. I think they left. They absconded. But
Abscond.
yeah, so I don't know about that, but and we already talked about mint and how lemon balm, mint. I personally use mint, and also I've talked about this one before, but anise hyssop. Mint and anise hyssop. I have IBS, and I feel like those two help the most with IBS.
Yeah.
And like when you have IBS, like you're just so desperate. A lot of the times the medications that doctors give you, they don't work. And IBS is just such a like it's such a thing. Like doctors really don't even know that much about it still,
Right.
and like how to fix it, how to control it. So you're just desperate and you're like trying anything. I feel like herbs really do help with IBS,
Yeah.
and more specifically mint and lemon balm, anything in the mint family, and then anise hyssop is a good one too.
Mhm.
And anise hyssop is a native plant. It's really good for the pollinators
Love.
as well. Holy basil
Great.
is a
Oh
good
yeah, I
one.
always forget about that.
It's an adaptogenic herb.
Hmm.
And it's good for stress relief, and it's shown to reduce cortisol levels as well in some studies, some small studies. So they're not like end all be all, but it's showing there. And then yarrow, I really like yarrow. That's
I
another native
Yeah,
love
plant.
that's a
yarrow.
good one.
Love yarrow.
As another native plant, you can use that in tea. It's good for like wound care. You can make pastes with it. You can make bandages or whatever with it. Plantain is another good one for that too.
I really.
Like
Yeah.
plantain is a weed in my yard, a quote
Here
unquote
too.
weed.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's great. Like if you get a bug bite or a bee sting, when I got attacked by my bees and I got like 3 bee stings, the first thing I did was like pull some plantain and just like immediately like put them on the stings. Like you chew them up, you chew it up, and then you put like a poultice on it,
Hmm.
and it's supposed to just kind of that initial sting. It can help the sting go away, and then also like improve the outcome of the sting, especially if you're allergic, like I am.
Girl.
Like I'm allergic skin wise. I'm not
Yeah.
like anaphylaxis allergic, thank God. But yeah, that's a good one too.
I know.
Huh.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Around
everywhere.
here. It's like that's half the lawn. So I feel like it's just
Oh, really?
plantain. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can eat it too. Like it's good, just
Yeah.
like wild edible.
yeah.
I would add red raspberry leaf to your list.
Oh, yeah.
And red raspberry leaf is probably one of like the one that I order the most of. That and like chamomile, I could never grow enough for it to like satisfy what I use it for. I will get like the full pound bag of red raspberry leaf and chamomile and grow through that pretty fast. It's good stuff.
So I pulled up my seed organizer and I was looking through my medicinal stuff. I was like, what have I forgotten here? One, I finally got it to germinate. I probably won't need it, but I will give it to friends of mine who need it. Is like I'm starting to grow medicinal senna. I mean, like popcorn cassia, I've made 7 billion videos about, and I will probably make 7 billion more because I just love the plant so much. And it has some medicinal uses, particularly where it's native or originally from, in I think it's East Africa or like Southeast Africa. But it's like it's one of those things that you really have to be specific about. But Senna alexandrina is like the high octane, full throttle diuretic.
Oh God.
So it's like, and like a friend of mine or actually a few friends of mine who are nurses has said like, oh yeah, we have Sen on hand at the hospital because they don't have it like they don't need a prescription to use it. So it's like if someone is constipated as all get out, a little Senna tea, will move quick. So I'm excited to have that on hand. That is not my issue in life in general, but I will I'm excited to kind of see how that grows and how I can use it. And it's just like all plants I feel like in the Senna family relative to zone obviously are just so prolific and drought tolerant and fun to grow. So that'll be a fun use for that one.
I can attest to senna and how, like I said, I have IBS. And I have like the mixed kind, not to get too personal, but it's, it's like back and forth constipation, diarrhea.
Yeah.
It works. It's great. Like senna is a great natural kind of alternative to a laxative, and it's much gentler than a laxative, but it works great. Like you can find even in the pharmacies, they've started to make like senna powder. Like you can just buy the powder and mix it in water. Take it. It's a great one. Yeah.
I wonder if that
That's
grows
cool that you're
here.
growing it. I know. I'm thinking now,
Senna.
like, should I grow that?
feel like
What zones are y'all in again? I forget.
6B.
I'm in 8A.
I think at the minimum you could grow it as an annual. Senna alexandrina. I know you're too cold for Senna didymobatria. No tea, no shade. It's
Yeah, sure.
as a perennial it'd be 9 is the lowest. So you could grow it as an annual. I know what a
Yeah.
lot of people do with sennas is they take a break, kind of like how you do citrus. They put it in a big pot, put it in the garage, bring it back out. So
Yeah.
you certainly could, and it is prolific as all get out.
I'm gonna look into that.
There's
Because as much as I've bought the powder, I should just be growing it.
Right.
and like it is so, and yeah, so like if anyone is listening who is in like zones 9 through 11, throw one of those bad boys in the ground and it will produce for a bajillion years. It like I posted a video 2 days ago where like I cut my senna back to like sticks and bones, and it comes back. They're just insane. I haven't looked into it, but there's another senna that is more common to y'all's area that I think can go down to zone 4, but I haven't looked into the medicinal use of that, if it does the same thing or if it has other interactions.
Yeah.
But I think all sennas kind of do the like clear you out thing, but with different levels of caution, obviously.
One huge one I think we skipped was oregano. Or did we say oregano?
That was the other one I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Yeah, because I will make oregano oil, and I've actually like cured an earache with that. It's wild. That stuff is so powerful
Yes.
and easy to grow. Overwinters really nicely.
Another one I'll say that I grow in my garden that I get a lot of use out of is eucalyptus, and it's a perennial eucalyptus. It's not like the eucalyptus tree, like the
Oh, really?
Australian one. It's like it's a perennial eucalyptus. I think it's called baby blue. That's the variety that I grow in my yard, but it smells just like eucalyptus. It's beautiful as like a decoration, but also when I'm sick, especially if I have like something respiratory, I love to make herbal steam baths, like boiling a pot of herbs and then putting, a towel over your head and just inhaling the steam.
Yep.
So it's a really good one for that. I also use chamomile for that
Yeah,
too.
that's a great one for chamomile.
Anytime anyone is sick, I'm like, herbal steam pot. Like, they hate
It's
to
so
see me
nice.
come in. Every time someone's sick, I'm like, we're doing a steam bath.
Same. That's awesome. Yeah, eucalyptus is kind of hard to start from seed though, isn't it? Or does it just take a really
No, I
long
bought this as a
time?
plant.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I bought this as a plant, an established plant. Yeah.
Have y'all done I'm fine I knock on wood, it finally takes, but like comfrey I'm excited to get into.
I haven't.
a little bit
I'm a little-
controversial.
Yeah.
Oh, that's controversial too,
That was
but
a little bit controversial.
I love it.
Yeah. I grow it and I kind of regret planting it just
really?
because it grows crazy.
Once you
and
have it,
spreads.
you will always have it. Yeah.
Once you have it, you always have it. And I grew it in ground, and I'm like trying to rip one of the plants. I only have 2 plants, but they're like huge.
Yeah.
They're absolutely massive. But I don't really use that one herbally. I use it more like for garden stuff. Like, you can compost the leaves.
Right.
And comfrey is one of those that like uptakes nutrients out of the soil or whatever. And so you can almost use it as like a compost tea. Some people make compost tea with the leaves.
That's my
I
plan,
just like,
yeah.
just like chuck up the leaves and put them in my compost so that they can break down and just improve my compost. But do you use that one medicinally, Aaron?
It is one of those things of I've read a bit, but I'm like not hyping myself up too much because I've done that with many medicinal herbs. Then it's just like, oh, I died. So I have ideas, but it's like that's also one that the pill bugs have been fighting me on. And like I am not generally a big fan of diatomaceous earth, but like that's a rare use case for me where it's like the pill bugs will eat every seedling I put in the ground of comfrey. So it literally looks like sage almost with how much diatomaceous is on just that little spot. It's off in a corner, so it's fine. But
Excited to see how your medicinal herb garden flourishes, Aaron.
I know.
Like this year and next year.
I know.
Have high
progress.
hopes. You got a lot of good seeds there.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. You can find Erin at Hey Garden Zaddy, and I'm at The Cottage Peach. Meg Grows Plants, and you can find our podcast most places that you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you in the next one.